Welcome back to the Consistency Corner podcast. I'm Ruthie, founder of the Consistency Corner, where we help you lighten the mental load of marketing so your growth doesn't require more noise or more of your personal energy. This month, we are pulling back the curtain a little bit, and not in a dramatic way, not in a let me tell you all the things way, not in a watch me spiral way, but in a grounded and strategic way. Because if you're an experienced founder who's navigating expansion and you have capacity limits and real life leadership, you don't need hype. You need clarity. And you probably need to know that you're not the only one going through whatever it is you're going through. So today, we're actually going to talk about whether or not you have a messaging problem or a mental load problem. If you've ever rewritten a caption 12 times and still felt unsure, this episode is for you. Most experienced founders are not confused about marketing or messaging, but you often are cognitively overloaded, so you think you're confused about them. So let's talk about what cognitively overloaded even means, the mental load, what that looks like. Well, if you're a mom, you know about the mental load of motherhood. It's the knowing what everybody likes for snack, knowing your kid's shoe size and when they've outgrown it, knowing when basketball signups are and if they overlap with soccer signups, and when the permission slip needs to be signed. And if you're in my house, side note, my husband doesn't listen to this podcast, so he won't hear this, that when you travel, your airline boarding passes are on your phone. Funny story. He traveled by himself for work for the first time in like 8 years. We always travel as a family, but he traveled by himself and he's a passenger princess for sure. Anyway, he forgot where the boarding passes were, that they're in the app on your phone, because they're always in the app on my phone and I just take care of it and he just walks along with me. So that logistical mental load right there, like where are the boarding passes? When do we need to check in? That's mental load. And then in your business, you have just as much, if not a bigger mental load. You are the decider of all the things. And even when you delegate, you're reviewing. You are checking in. You are checking for clarity. You are handing off. You're following up. You're confirming. And you hold the long-term vision for your business along with the day-to-day execution. And so marketing becomes a really heavy cognitive weight because where is my audience? Does my audience care what I have to say? What am I saying to them? What do I want them to do? What's happening in the marketplace? How do all the 75,000 things I'm working on connect to each other so that the puzzle fits and it all makes sense? So sometimes your messaging feels off because you're tired, because you don't have space to think, because strategy starts to collapse under decision fatigue. And if you're in an expansion season, which means you might be launching something new or you're ready to scale an existing offer or up level somewhere, you're putting so much weight into what is the message because you want it so desperately to hit. And there are so many things to decide when creating messaging. And strategy can start to collapse under that decision fatigue. And then the visibility resentment can start to creep in. Oh my God, I don't want to show up on camera. Oh my God, I have to send another email. What do you mean I have to talk on stories? What do you mean I need to go to this networking event? I'm just so tired. So it's not that as you are working on this new offer, this new thing, this new way to help your clients, it's not that you're not good at helping them. You are. And it's not that you're bad at messaging. It's not that you're inconsistent. It's not that you need another template or a chat GPT prompt. You need support in thinking through the decisions. And probably once you've thought through them and you've decided, you need somebody to validate those decisions. You know, it's interesting with my son, we're working with his therapist right now. And one of the things that she was coaching us on in terms of supporting him as a kiddo with ADHD is, and I think this literally probably applies to everybody, not just neurodivergent kids, but that we really need to focus on a 5-to-1 ratio in terms of one, command or correction, to 5 compliments or forms of connection. He needs the praise. He needs the validation. 5 to 1. And guess what? You need it too. And I need it too. We need somebody who gets it, who understands our business, who understands the journey, who understands all the weight of these decisions to say, that was a good decision. Yes, keep going. Yes, do that. Or sometimes, hey, remember we decided this. Let's make sure we keep going in that direction and not waffle all over the place. That's containment for your decisions. That's giving you ownership clarity and helping you have actually fewer decisions because we're having conviction for the things that we actually decide. So when we're spiraling about our own messaging, because often we are in the Coke bottle, meaning the glass is curved, we're on the inside looking out, it's really hard to see and read the label. It can be helpful to have someone on the outside looking in. And it's even more helpful to have somebody who understands the journey and has been through the ups and downs and the evolution of whatever it is that you are going through. Because messaging will improve when mental load decreases. Because when that mental load decreases, you start to see things you didn't see before. Things click, things come to you. It's literally like one of the reasons that they say we have the best ideas in the shower is because in the shower, like we're not thinking about and trying to do 75,000 other things, and we're not getting all this input that we get in our day-to-day life, like when we're sitting at our computer or we're looking at our phone or we're driving. Like it's just you and the water, and your brain has a chance to process, and that's where the clarity comes. And then the messaging can improve because the clarity has come. So if you're like, yeah, exactly, Ruthie, I am feeling that, like, you're not alone. And if this resonated, I ask that you share this with another founder who's carrying maybe more than she lets on, because this running a business thing is not easy. And even for those of us who are established, we're past the new getting your feet off the ground. We're past the DIY era or inching out of the DIY era, but it's still hard. It's still hard. And there's still a mental load attached to it. So if there is another founder that you know is carrying more than she lets on, share this with her because I think it'll be helpful for her as well. And you all can connect and say, like, I see you. You see me. We're in this together. And if you are in an expansion season, this is something that we're going to be unpacking all this month. So stay tuned for the next episode and I'll see you soon. I'm cheering you on and I'm in your